This is a life-consuming passion. Obsessive passion, I think my husband calls it. I love the functionality of it. I love that you can take a pile of muck and turn it into something that you can use every day, something that you can hold, something you can cook with. You know, that's what I like about it. Clay is very tactile. It's very addictive. When you get your hands on it and you start impressing patterns into it or forming it, it just draws you in. I'm a forester. I work for BC Timber Sales here in Quesnel in the district office. Lots of field time in the summer season, a lot of office time in the winter months. I'm a silviculture forester, so there's not much to do in the winter. For me, the pottery is the busiest between, let's say April and December. Usually between January and March, I get a little bit of downtime, which is the time I take to refuel. So I'll do classes, I'll do workshops, I'll, take on a new rabbit hole that I'll go down, sort of thing. Yeah, I still have a few wholesale customers that keep me pretty busy. I'd like to sort of weed that out of the pottery eventually and just do what I want to do, but it's just not realistic. It's financially, I mean, those wholesale customers make a difference. It keeps you in clay, right? I think I started getting pretty serious about the clay in probably late 2007. So I was in university. I graduated university in 2005, and then I spent a couple of years. You have to practice in your field for a couple of years before you become a registered professional forester. And it was essentially like almost immediately after that. When that weight was lifted, I just went full bore with the pottery, and I've been taking it pretty serious ever since. Like I said, there's just been so many different hobbies. So I think the latest one that I just recently kind of given up is the soap making. And I went a little bit insane with the soap making before that. And the soap making kind of inspired some clay products as well. So when I started making soap, I had this wonderful handmade hard soap, but you get it wet, it sits in, those traditional soap dishes, and it turns to a pile of mush. It drove me crazy. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be a better way for a soap dish. So out of that was born a new soap dish style. Before the soap was knitting. There was a woman at my office who was an avid knitter, and I was mesmerized watching her. And I said, teach me to knit. And before you know it, we're totes and totes and totes full of hats. I go a little crazy. When I get into it, I go into it. really sure what my end goal is. I'm a couple of years away from retiring from my real job. I think realistically, I'll be teaching classes. I'll be, concentrating more on marketing myself, paying more attention to the store up south of town. I couldn't choose a favorite. I'm most efficient on the wheel. It's probably my most productive tool. If I'm hand building, I'm engrossed in it, but it slows me down a lot. Sometimes that's a challenge. People will come to me with ideas. They'll say, oh, can you do this? And I'm like, oh, haven't tried that before. Maybe I'll give that a go. And sometimes people come to me with ideas and I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. So I'm open. I'm wide open to new ideas, and that's part of where my inspiration comes from, is when people come to me with ideas. Or if there's something I find I want out of necessity. For instance, these little chicks are very annoying when they eat, and in my mind it's percolating an idea for some sort of little chick feeder that they can't tip over. It's like that. I do local craft fairs, so there's a couple of craft fairs in Prince George that I'll usually do every year. The Williams Lake Medieval Market, Arts Wells. The pottery shop in Clinton was a big customer for me. Quesnel Art Gallery, I used to sell it in the Breeze. I've had customers in Alberta. There's a woman down on Vancouver, Chilliwack, that sells my pots in her store. There's a woman out in Barkerville who she orders custom mugs, and she sells them in the bakery in Barkerville. Yeah, I think COVID definitely had an impact in negative and positive ways. Obviously, we weren't going to any craft fairs, but at the same time, it's really given me an opportunity to try out new techniques, learn some new things. There's been a lot of positivity as well. I discovered Instagram, and there's all kinds of potters on Instagram. It's like, wow, where have I been the last 10 years? I didn't know anything about Instagram. I've been a production potter at times. I'm a functional potter, I think. I don't often make things that are just whimsical, that you hang on the wall. I like things to be part of everyday, serviceable dishes that you can, give as gifts or use yourself. So this is the one we use for glazing. This is an egg tray, and this was born from my chickens because I like to collect my beautiful colored eggs and store them on the table for the day, maybe 2 days before I wash them. And this is the kind of thing that I like to, it just makes me happy.